with the headlines. President Bola Tinubu inaugurates completed project undertaken by Governor Peter Mbah in Enugu. Petrol prices expected to crash as more marketers partners with Dangote refinery. On the foreign scene, a fire at a food market in northern China kills at least 8 people and injures 15 others. Details of this and more we come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu arrived in Enugu State on Saturday on his first state visit and inaugurated some completed projects undertaken by Governor Peter Mbah's administration. Projects the president inaugurated include the 30 of the 260 smart green schools, 60 completed Type 2 primary health centers, and 19 kilometers airport, New Haven, Bizala, and Okpara Square roads built by Mbah's administration. Other projects inaugurated were the completed International Conference Center and the state-of-the-art Command and Control Center, which has 150 patrol vehicles fitted with AI-embedded surveillance cameras. This is the first time a sitting president is paying an official visit to the state in over 10 years. Inaugurating the project, President Tinubu lauded Mbah for the project, saying that infrastructural development is a must to attract local and foreign investment, create jobs and give all a better tomorrow. Earlier, Mbah said the airport, New Haven, Bisala and Okpara Square roads, 19 kilometers, represented 85 urban roads his administration constructed between October 2023 and October 2024. The federal government of Nigeria has been charged to do the needful in this new year, especially about the economy of the country. Some Nigerians that spoke with Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph said the nation's economy is currently too harsh and quite unbearable for the people. Therefore, they called on government to come up with policies that will ameliorate the sufferings of the people.
To address the issue of inflation in this country is getting out of hand. The government should do that. Though I am not unaware that there is no government that can 100% solve the problems of the citizenry. No such government in the world. America has its own challenge. Britain has its own challenge. Canada has its own challenge. South Africa has its own. Ghana has its own. So, but when the problem comes, we try to put us together and address it. So what I'm saying,
my expectation from the government is to try to boost our economy better than the state where we are now. I know we can't go back to how it used to be in the 70s or 80s, but at least they should work on it. Let it get better than this. If not, the way we are now. Is nothing to talk about.
They said the best the administration of President Bola Tinubu could do that will have positive impact on the populace is for the government to provide necessary things that could cushion the effect of the removal of the subsidy, which has unarguably is the cause of the present socio-economic woes in the country.
Crying here and there for good welfare packages could be keenly addressed. Now, when it comes to the civil servant or public servant, the government should look into an angle of accommodation for them. That is housing loan. There's nothing bad about that. Car loan. There's nothing bad about that. And even free mass transit for them. There's nothing also bad.
Review the 2024. Look at the obstacles, the challenges, the pitfalls of 2024, and now brace up for 2025 to be able to do better.
More fuel marketers are starting to partner with the Dangote refinery to guarantee Nigerians a consistent supply of petroleum products at reasonable cost. A few weeks following the strategic partnership with All Nigerian PLC, which allowed the company to sell premium motor spirit PMS, commonly known as fuel, at a lower price than competitors. More petroleum marketers have continued to enter into agreement with the refining giant in an attempt to increase sales and drive down prices. According to information obtained by Newsman, numerous petroleum marketers are currently considering signing a strategic agreement with Dangote Refinery in an effort to gain market dominance. During the Yuletide season, many Nigerians took advantage of lower fuel prices, with PMS selling for as little as 940 naira and 950 naira per litre at certain gas stations. This change followed the agreement, which addressed the long-standing problem of price differences across states by reducing fuel rates to 935 naira per litre across all of its stations nationally. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced that it will ration power supply to part of the Federal Capital Territory FCT from January 6 to 20th. The rationing is due to the Federal Capital Development Authority FCDA road dualization project along the Apo axis. According to TCN's General Manager, Public Affairs Ndidi Mba, the project requires the relocation of 8 132 kV and 33 kV towers along the Kubwa-Apo 132 kV line. This, according to the statement, will result in a planned power outage from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily, affecting areas such as Kubwa, Karu, Maraba, Nyanya, Masaka, Kefi, Kukwaba, and Apo Mechanic. Other areas to be affected include parts of Lube, Trademore Estate, Piakasa, Sabun Lube, Chika, and Aleta axis. TCN apologized for the inconvenience and assured customers that power supply will be restored as soon as the tower's relocation and cable stringing are completed. It added that this relocation work necessitated a planned power outage from 6th to 20th January from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily, which is the estimated duration for the dismantling and construction of the towers. TCN revealed that it will also allow for the restringing of the power cables that will enable resumption of bulk power supply to the Apo transmission substation from Gwagwalada substation. The Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Audi, has stressed the need for government to equip all security agencies and necessary facilities in order to curtail activities of economic saboteur. Audi made the appeal while speaking at a gathering organized by the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals Development on the bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Mines Ranger Service to combat illegal mining and other crimes. Addressing the gathering, the commandant of NSCDC stated that activities of illegal miners, vandalization of the country's infrastructure, amongst others, have become serious threat to socio-economic development in Nigeria. He maintained that it has become necessary for government not only to focus on making budgetary provisions for security agencies, but must be ready to equip the personnel with necessary equipment.
And then before they now re-strategize and then move ahead. So we need drones, we need vehicles, and in fact we need the personnel. Sir, if you amalgamate the number of security personnel in the country, all military, police, paramilitary, intelligence community, is not up to 1.5 million. How can you ask 1.5 million to police 200 million population? It's not an easy task. The core is only 63,000, and we have identified these mining sites over 1,000 so far. So it is not easy. So we need equipment, we need personnel, and like I used to say, don't even give us the money. Give us the equipment that we need. Give me vehicles, give us weapons, because fighting bandits. Because there's a relationship between banditry and mining. These bandits, sir, we have lost a lot of personnel.
Other speakers at the event, including the representatives of the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, emphasized the need for decisive actions against economic saboteurs in the country, noting that these would ensure economic growth and development. They also commended the National Assembly for its determination to come up with appropriate legislation to ensure safety and economic growth in Nigeria.
It is pertinent to acknowledge that the mining industry in Nigeria has been identified as a strong pathway to our economic diversification. The sector needs clearly some repositioning. It has to be so repositioned to meet our expectations. With its vast potential, the sector deserves every necessary policy attention and legislative intervention to fast-track its full exploration. We have noted that the Nigerian mining industry has, over the years, been confronted with grave problems of illegal mining and insecurity.
Nigerian Civil Defense Corps is saddled with the responsibility of monitoring them, in addition to the enormous duties they are originally created to do. The Nigerian prisons, the Nigerian immigrations, and even the army are overwhelmed with activities resulting from banditry, which is as a result of not really monitoring the in and out of some of our foreign nationals. You will agree with me that our borders are so porous that if every Nigerian is to be engaged in monitoring our borders, we cannot do enough to stop.
Members of the Senate should try as much as possible so that we reject our laws, reject our acts in such a way that it will improve the progress, productivity, and unity of our nation, particularly in terms of security and welfare of the citizenry, which is the number one function of government. But before then, permit me to appreciate the sponsor of the bill, Senator Mohammed Onao, for finding it worthy to think in this dimension. You all know that as a country, we are blessed in terms of mineralogy, and therefore the wealth that God has given to us, it should not be a wealth that will kill us, but it's a wealth that Nigerians must benefit. And therefore, let the process of exploiting and extracting this wealth it shouldn't be detrimental to life and humanity. It should be productive to the economy. It should also improve the standard of living of Nigerians.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Nigerian Air Force says it has acquired 12 additional fighter aircraft as part of its effort to boost its operational effectiveness. Details with these and more will come to you shortly. Please stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate a live update and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Five months after the Supreme Court landmark ruling on July 11 granting financial autonomy to the 774 local government areas, progress has been made in actualizing grassroots governance, but challenges persist in fully implementing the court's decision. Galaxy's correspondent gives a detailed review on the activities surrounding the implementation of the court order. The report. On the 10th of July 2024, the Supreme Court of Nigeria made some far-reaching decisions to reposition local government administration in the country. These included the declaration of the appointment of caretaker committees illegal to replace elected local government executives, ensuring democratic governance at the local government level in the 36 states of the Federation. Monthly disbursement of federal allocations to the local governments directly to them by the Federation accounts, as well as the restraining of the state governors from collecting funds belonging to the local government councils when not democratically elected local government councils are in place.
The Lordship came to a conclusion that money due to local government shall henceforth be paid directly from the Federation account to the 774 local government and 6 municipal council in Abuja. So that laid the matter to rest today.
The court judgment, which came with a lot of controversies among key stakeholders, had the support of both chambers of the National Assembly, highlighting Section 162, subsection 6 of the 1999 Constitution.
Following recent Supreme Court judgment, noting that their perspectives will guide the committee in addressing them and all that person concerned.
Supreme Court of Nigeria is the final court of the land, and that they cannot make a pronouncement that would not be enforced. So in other words, the Nigerian Senate stands solidly behind the Supreme Court decision.
While some governors welcomed the Supreme Court's decision, others expressed concerns about the potential implications of local government autonomy.
Supreme Court ruling on local government allocation. The forum believes in the efficacy of the local government system, which ensures that governance is brought closer to the people as provided in the Constitution. The forum also will continue to support the autonomy of the local governments as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And so our position from the beginning of this discourse has been that states should take charge of the number of local governments that they can create, the number of local governments that they can cater for.
So far, over 30 states have conducted elections for the local government councils. Taking a different turn, the Anambra State House of Assembly passed a Local Government Administration Bill 2024, which allows the state government to share in funds meant for local government councils.
There's no doubt that the age-long law is that a judgment of a court subsists until it is set aside on appeal by a higher court. And that means it must be obeyed. So parties or government agencies cannot choose and pick, or pick and choose which judgment to obey and which not to obey.
The Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, pointed out that some state actions had led to the starvation of local government councils, preventing them from fulfilling their constitutional duties. He underscored He underscored that ignoring or bypassing constitutional rulings, especially on issues such as local government autonomy, could be an impeachable offense. Fagbemi also cautioned local government chairmen across the country against mismanaging or looting public funds. The AG stressed that the autonomy granted to local government areas by the Supreme Court was for the purpose of empowering the grassroots and not for carting public funds into private pockets.
The states concerned are advised not to tread within the precincts of contempt of court.
More than 5 months after the judgment, the federal government had not been able to effect direct payment of allocations to the local occasion committee. This burst a total of 2.08 trillion naira in allocations to local government councils between July and December 2024. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, said the federal government was yet to commence direct payments to the respective local government due to some
state government should not comply with the judgment of the Supreme Court. I don't see any reason why the federal government should continue to pay the money through the state government. Because that means that they are in contempt, both the state government and the federal government are in contempt of the Supreme Court, which is too bad. Because the moment you disobey the judgment of the Supreme Court, that means that you are inviting chaos and anarchy.
One wouldn't expect any statutory body established by law to be persuaded to obey the judgment of the Supreme Court. Moment the judgment is passed, it becomes the law.
Nenwarangil Mazaka, Galaxy TV News, Lagos. The Nigerian Air Force said it has acquired the new additions to the NAV fleet include 2 King Air 3601 light transport aircraft, 4 T-129 attack helicopters, 2 Augusta Westland 109 tracker, and 4 DA-62 surveillance aircraft. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, stated this on Saturday during a parley with NAV veteran residents in Kaduna. He added that moving forward, the NAV is poised to take delivery of 24 M346 fighter aircraft and 10 additional Augusta Westland 109 tracker helicopters from Italy. According to him, all the platforms being inspected were 2 additional T-129 attack helicopters from Turkey, 3 Casa 295 transport aircraft from Spain, and 12 AH-IZ Zipper helicopters from the United States. He said the NAV will take additional delivery of 50 brand new aircraft between December 2025 and 2026. According to the Air Chief, the acquisition of the new aircraft is part of the NAV's effort to boost its operational effectiveness. The Kaduna Customs Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has achieved a remarkable milestone in revenue generation for the 2024 fiscal year. This was made known in a statement signed by the Public Relations Officer, Kaduna Area Command, highlighting the command's exceptional accomplishment, including surpassing its annual revenue target and achieving a significant year-on-year increase in revenue collection. One said that in 2024, the command generated a total revenue of over 32 billion naira, representing a 96.65% increase in 2023. The state further stated that this milestone represents a significant achievement since the command's establishment. These figures underscore the command's robust revenue performance and its effectiveness in stakeholder engagement and operational efficiency. The public relations officer further attributed the success achieved to stakeholders' engagement and cooperative social responsibility, making proactive engagement with stakeholders, including importers, exporters, and customs clearing agents. Benue State Police Authority says between the months of April and December of 2024, it has recorded huge successes in its fight against criminal element, while parading 7 suspected cultists arrested at North Bank, Daudu, and Otupo areas alongside arms and ammunition recovered from them. The State Police Commissioner, Steve Yabanet, stated this at the command headquarters while addressing newsmen on its achievements within April and December 2024. Through kinetic and non-kinetic measures, which also led to peace between Fulani and Tiv people in Sankara axis of the state.
The achievement from April to December 2024. The total number of suspects arrested in connection with capital offences. Capital offences only 274. Total number of arms and ammunition recovered 20. Total number of ammunition firearms recovered 20. Total number of ammunition recovered 51. Then total number of cases charged to court 250.
While assuring Benue citizens of its commitment to the safety of lives and property, says the current security challenge is that of cultism and the arrest and parade of the 7 suspects in court-related activities, while calling on parents to warn their children. He also kicked against the killings of elderly people on the allegation of witchcraft. The Kano State Police Command has successfully arrested a 25-year-old suspected kidnapper, Abubakar Musa, from Rijaya Lemo headquarters, Kano. The suspect is apprehended for kidnapping a 2-year-old child, Al-Amin Ahmed Garba, and demanding a ransom of 50 million naira for the victim's release. A statement says the suspect was arrested on December 25, 2024, following a sustained follow-up and intelligence-led operation. According to Haruna, the suspect was charged to Magistrate Court number 25, No Man's Land, Kano, on January 3, 2025, and is currently remanded. He said the Commissioner of Police, Salman Dogo Garba, assures the public that the command will continue to work tirelessly to ensure the safety and security of all residents in Kano State. He said the Kano State Police Command encourages members of the public to continue supporting the police by providing useful information that can lead to the arrest of criminals in the state. You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News. We'll quickly take a break and when we return, the news. We're glad to have you back and now to carry the rest of the stories. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke on Saturday warned youth that attacked the Ajeniju of Alleluja Oba Jelili Olaya and razed down his palace against acts of lawlessness. The governor subsequently directed security agencies to fish out those behind the act. Olaya was injured on Friday following a violent protest by some youths displaced over the installation of an imam by the monarch. He was said to have installed a chief imam for his community sometime in December 2024 to sharing of some Ido-Osun youth. A source in the area who craved anonymity for security reasons, however, said some youth from Ido-Osun who felt aggrieved over the installation staged a protest against it, which later turned violent. In some of the pictures taken from the scene of the protest, pieces of damaged plastic chairs littered a hall believed to be located within the palace of Ajiniju. Adeleke, while reacting to the development in a statement signed by his spokesman, Olawale Rashid, from community. Operatives of the Odida Division of the Ogun State Police Command has arrested Akintoye Waris for allegedly stealing and slaughtering a Savannah he-goat valued at 200,000 naira for his child's naming. The spokesperson for the command, Omolola Odutola, revealed that Waris was arrested on January 2nd, 2025 in the area of the state along with his accomplice Ajayi Yusuf. The suspect had allegedly invaded the farm in the area to steal the goat, having ensured that the farm owner, simply known as Mark, had taken the cattle for grazing on December 25th. Odutola stated that after discovering one of the goats was missing upon his return, a search was conducted in the community. During the search, the police said some villagers confirmed seeing the two suspects with the missing goat on a motorcycle heading towards Oludo town. The command noted that while acting on the tip-off, detectives were immediately dispatched, leading to the arrest of the suspects in the early hours of January 2nd, 2025. Odutola stated that during interrogation, the suspects confessed to the crime, explaining how they stole, transported, and later slaughtered the he-goat on December 27, 2025, Kintoye Waris' daughter, which was held at Uludu. Security experts have positioned that the fight against terrorism and criminality in any society or country cannot be won without the active participation of citizens, as all efforts are geared towards reducing the spate of insecurity and other forms of attacks in Nigeria. Media practitioners in Nigeria have been advised to place national interest above personal values. Correspondent Kulojo completes the story.
The primary terrorist threat in Nigeria comes from Islamic State of West Africa and Boko Haram. The groups are mainly based in the northeast Nigeria in Bodo, Yobe, and Adamawa states. Since 2021, there have also been attacks likely associated with terrorist groups in the following states: Borno, Gombe, Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, Bauchi, Ondo, Zamfara, Taraba, Jigawa, Sokoto, Edo and Kano states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory.
Perspectives and issues on national security and national interest, we find that generally national security in Nigeria particularly has been shaped by history, culture and values and our internal experience as a nation. National security on its own part also encompasses the fight against terrorism, insurgency, banditry, other forms of insecurity and threats that threaten social cohesion and development.
A world fraught with echoes of conflict, uncertainty, security dilemmas, ambiguous and complex geopolitical challenges, the narrative surrounding national security often emerges from a narrow lens. It is easy to find that the focus on national security is often skewed and confined to discussion of military strength as well as the immediate threats posed by hostile state and non-state actors. Although these views are essential, it is important that our understanding of national security is expanded to incorporate broader social, economic, and environmental elements which are hallmarks of what is termed development journalism.
Terrorist attacks over the year have been indiscriminate, occurred at any time, including in places visited by foreign nationals such as markets, malls, hotels, bars and restaurants, sports venues, and screening. Experts are of the view that the fight against terrorism, criminality cannot be won without the active participation of citizens and stakeholders, especially journalists. Their view is premised on the fact that the media, being the watchdogs of the society, reports activities of terrorist groups.
Reporting a national security matter, where it also affects the nation's interests. This includes avoiding sensationalism and exaggeration, which can create unnecessary panic and compromise national security.
Additionally, the media must protect sensitive information and sources, avoiding the disclosure of classified information that can compromise national security.
Of a place to protect that area. You must love your country for your country to thrive. If we put anything ahead of our country, then we're not getting it right. Most times we look at money. Everybody is after money. And so we downgrade your country just because you think you are making money, not knowing that you are equally lit.
In an effort to reshape the public and global perception of Nigeria's national security, experts stress that media practitioners need to put the country's national interest above personal, emotional, and sentimental values. They posited that it has become necessary for journalists to take responsibility for reporting with accuracy, fairness, and sensitivity in an environment that often breeds misinformation and heightened emotion. Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
The federal government has been advised as a matter of urgency to suspend the rush to implement the proposed tax reform bills so as to more wisely use the medium of dialogue to allay all concerns, collect all quality contributions and critical input from cross-sections of Nigerian stakeholders. The leadership of the Northern Elders Forum in a communique issued at the end of its meeting and signed by chairman of its management board, Alamin Dagash, also suggested that pending the emergence into the national horizon of clear evidence of the promised economic recovery by the government. The forum admitted that since coming into office, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has brazenly operated with a total contempt and sardonic disdain for any patriotic voice of dissent and a palpable proclivity for emasculating its imaginary opponent while faulting the tax bill. The forum stated that the proposed formula contained in the NTAB is not fair to the state where VAT revenue is generated, as the consuming state are denied credits for what has been generated from them. It added that the plan to move to exceedingly performing developmental and technological institutions with a secured means of sustainability, such as TETFON, NITDA and NASENI, to the uncertain and hazardous future of budgetary allocation should be halted. We'll quickly take a break, and when we return, the news continues. To stay with us. Well, glad to have you back. The Secretary to Ondo State Governor Tayo Astukana died on Saturday at an undisclosed hospital. The details of his death were still sketchy as at the time of filing this report, but it was learned that the deceased was involved in a road accident along the Ife-Badon Road on December 19, 2024, after which he was hospitalized. Confirming the incident in a statement by the State Commissioner for Information and Orientation on Saturday, Wale Akinlosotu said Oluwatoye passed away on Saturday. He described the former SSG as a dedicated public servant who served the state maliciously. And now we'll move over to the foreign desk for more news. Hello and welcome to the Foreign News. A fire at a food market in northern China on Saturday killed at least 8 people and injured 14 others. The blaze erupted at the Lingwang market in the city of Zhangjiakou around midday and was mostly extinguished by 2 p.m. According to information received from a government official where the market is located. The cause of the fire is under investigation, the report said. Traditional markets like Lingwang are often densely packed with shoppers drawn to lower prices compared to supermarket chains. Fire hazards in such markets include gas bottles, charcoal for roasting meat, discarded cigarettes and aging infrastructure such as underground gas lines which have previously been blamed for fires and explosions. Zhangjiakou, sited in Hebei province, bordering Beijing, gained international attention as a host city for events during the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. The Israeli military has killed a Palestinian teenager and injured 9 other people in the Balata refugee camp as Israeli forces step up raids across the occupied West Bank. The Palestinian Ministry of Health said on Saturday 18-year-old Mohammed Medhat Amin Amer was shot dead during the overnight raid on the camp located on the outskirts of the city of Nablus in the north of the occupied West Bank. 9 people are in critical condition after being wounded in the raid, which began on Friday night and triggered violent confrontations. The Palestinian news agency reports that Israeli soldiers entered the camp from the Awata checkpoint, deploying snipers on the rooftops of surrounding buildings. In a statement on Saturday, the Israeli military said that soldiers fired on terrorists who had hurled explosives, Molotov cocktails and rocks and shot fireworks at the forces. Violence in the occupied West Bank has intensified since war broke out in the Gaza Strip following Hamas-led attack on October 7, 2023. Myanmar military rulers will release 5,864 prisoners, including 180 foreigners, under an amnesty to mark the country's 77 years of independence from British colonial rule. The military said on Saturday that he had ordered the release on humanitarian and compassionate grounds and would commute the life sentences of 144 people to 15 years. Details were not provided of what the prisoners had been convicted of and the nationalities of the foreign detainees who were set to be deported on release were not unknown. The foreigners to be released could include 4 Thai fishermen who were arrested by Myanmar Navy in late November after patrol boats opened fire on Thai fishing vessels in waters close to their maritime border in the Andaman Sea. Thailand's Prime Minister has said she expected the 4 to be released on Independence Day. Among those still imprisoned in the country's former leader, Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi, the 79-year-old is serving a 27-year sentence in an election fraud to corruption. She denies all the charges. Still on foreign news, thousands of South Korean protesters for and against impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol have staged rival rallies in Seoul, a day after authorities failed to execute an arrest warrant on the suspended leader over his short-lived declaration of martial law last month. The protesters faced off outside the presidential residence and along major roads in the South Korean capital on Saturday to either demand Yoon's arrest or call for his impeachment to be declared invalid. The widening political division comes as investigators from the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials pressed the country's acting president choice for Yoon. On Friday, the Presidential Security Service and soldiers prevented prosecutors from arresting Yoon in a 6-hour standoff incident, citing safety concerns. The showdown, which reportedly included shoving, but no shots fired, left the warrant in limbo, with the court order set to expire on Monday. Syrian Foreign Minister Hassan al-Shaibani has announced he will visit Qatar. The United Arab Emirates and joint diplomat in Syria's new government said in a social media post that he would be visiting the 3 countries this week to support stability, security, economic recovery, and build distinguished partnerships. The new government, made up of rebels who brought the brutal decades-long rule of the al-Assad family to an abrupt end last month, is eager for investment from wealthy Gulf states to help rebuild the country's infrastructure and boost the economy, shattered by more than a decade of war. Saudi Arabia already looks set to play a big role in the country's revival. Earlier this week, Al-Shabani headed a high-ranking delegation to Riyadh that included the new defense minister and intelligence chief. Finally, on foreign news, a judge has ordered that Donald Trump will be sentenced on January 10 in his hush money case in New York, less than 2 weeks before he is set to be sworn in as president. New York Justice Juan Merchan signaled he will not send